Welcome to another edition of the Fitness for All podcast. I am pleased to have on the podcast tonight Amy and Tyler Bois, and welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having us, Cam.
Yes.
So let's start off, I guess, Amy, with you. And can you maybe talk a little bit about you being an adaptive coach?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I am really lucky. I started my career in personal training. Probably it's been about 4 years now where I've focused on personal training, but been an instructor at a local gym here for over 10 years. I got into adaptive fitness training because my son really needed to have some motivation to get up and get moving.
Yes.
And he's like, yes.
Yeah.
And once we started doing that together and I started to put my creative thinking cap on, I realized that there was such a need out there for trainers to specialize in adaptive training. So I just very quickly said, not only can I help Tyler, but I can help so many that need to get out there and get moving and really bring my expertise to the table. So that's kind of how it happened.
Nice. And you have a business called Fit for Life. So that's how it came to be. Fit for Life is because of your son, Tyler?
Well, actually, so I'm Fit with Amy B. That's what I go by on my Instagram page. And That's where I do literally almost all my work. That's where people can sign up with me for one-on-one personal training, small group training. That's where literally it all started, was on Fit with Amy B. And that was over 4 years ago now when I started that.
And that's quite the long time for doing something like that. What do you see as far as like into the future, where you want to take Fit with Amy B?
Well, honestly, we have a really diverse group. I definitely think adaptive training is my niche. I think that there's a need and it's something that I'm really passionate about. So I think, over the next year, we're going to see more adaptive programs. And in fact, I've started working with brands on Instagram that are looking to help make their products geared towards fitness for all abilities. So I would say you're going to see me working with different brands to help them be more accessible and more inclusive.
Stay tuned.
Perfect. And Tyler, let's ask you a question. I see you all the time on your mom's Instagram and you're just working out like there's no tomorrow. How's that going with your therapy and working out?
Very good, actually. I'm going to this gym called Project Walk, and it's been really fun, and it feels good to move again and not
for sure, must
crappy all the time.
Yeah, because Tyler and he'll tell you, he had been in pain, chronic pain, really for a very long time.
Still am, but better.
Right, but better.
It feels good to move.
Absolutely. And this place is really motivating him to get moving. It's an adaptive gym here in Stratham, New Hampshire, that was started by two parents because their daughter had suffered a very debilitating virus where it left her in a coma for 4 years. And her name's Victoria Arlen. She's actually an ESPN commentator.
Okay.
Yeah, so she woke up out of her coma after 4 years, and the parents had her in a similar type gym out in California, and they decided to open their own Project Walk here in Stratham to really help their daughter rehabilitate and take her life back again. She literally had to learn every aspect. She was a full-time wheelchair user and had to essentially like relearn everything.
She has a fully backward.
Yeah. She's gotten all of everything back. She was on Dancing with the Stars as well. So it's been
very nice.
Yeah. So the gym is just a great fit for Tyler. Lots of young coaches. They play music in the background. So it's been awesome.
I love it. Yeah. Probably the best.
And Tyler, what are some of the favorite exercises you like to do there, or do you have any favorite exercises?
I just exercise. I really a favorite one. I just Do what else?
You did today. He did one today, Cam, the one where he was sitting on
Oh yeah.
a Bosu. So they create instability by having him sit on a Bosu, and then they essentially throw balls at him, and he has to hit the balls with like his hands, like out of the way.
Mhm.
So the whole point of it is to create instability, and your core really has to work to stabilize and then to hit the beach ball. That's what it was. You did pretty good with that, Tyler.
Yes, I did.
It's kind of like extreme dodgeballing.
Oh, and that would be amazing to be able to play extreme dodgeball.
Yeah.
I like dodgeball.
Yeah, see, he's into dodgeball. Yeah.
Yeah, so am I. I used to play it when I was growing up back in the 1800s too, so it was fun.
Oh, come on, Cam. We know you're not that old.
So, Amy, with being an adaptive trainer, what kind of philosophies do you have when you're training your athletes, and how do you adapt to their abilities?
Actually, my philosophy is really, really simple, is that I train all my clients like they're an athlete. I don't put limitations on them. We certainly talk about, their bodies and what they have going on, what their strengths are, what their areas of opportunities are. But I let them know right from the beginning that movement is medicine, and we are going to get you moving, and it's a joint relationship that we're going to have together. But I treat them just like I would any other individual who I was training. And that's my philosophy behind my adaptive fitness business.
Yeah, and why do you think it's important to do that?
Well, I mean, I think it's important to do that, especially since, in today's society, the disabled community, we're fighting for equal opportunity and for accessibility and exclusivity. And the disabled community absolutely has a place in the fitness world. So the more that we create an environment of inclusivity and also equal treatment, the more the perceptions will change of people living with disabilities.
Yeah, and that's just it. And that's what I always try to do too, is to, all I can do is control my actions and what I say. And hopefully with the information that, that we give to people, hopefully it will change. And obviously I would love for it to change a little bit quicker than it is, but it is changing, and that's a good thing.
Oh, I absolutely think it is changing. I'm seeing the change. I'm having a lot more conversations with big brands online that are very interested in the adaptive fitness community. People are paying attention. So this is the time now to get out there, make your needs heard, and to raise awareness.
Yeah, and along with that awareness, Tyler, if I remember correctly, was part of a fashion show.
Oh yes, I was recently. It was fun, very fun.
And what made it fun?
Just getting in. I don't.
Your clothes. The clothes was cool.
Yeah.
You liked it.
Yeah.
What did you like out of the outfits? Which one did you like the best?
The pants, honestly. I don't know.
The shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shorts were awesome because they had Velcro closure. So easy on, easy off, no buttons, no zippers.
I kind of like
Velcro. Oh, and the shoes. They sent him Merrill's slip-on shoes that went right over his Allard orthotics, which was awesome. And all these things were donated by who? Do you remember?
Zappos, right?
Yeah, Zappos, adaptive.
I remembered, Mom.
Oh, yeah. He's rubbing my arm. Mom, I remembered.
Right on, Tyler.
Yeah, they were awesome. They sent Tyler two
I like Zappos.
outfits, 2 pairs of sneakers, and everything that he tried on. Literally, you looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good, and you seem confident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's great for all people with disabilities to be able to have that line of clothing because they're much more confident, and they're able to do it a lot on their own as well, which I think is phenomenal towards being independent as well.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think We're seeing a lot of brands follow in Zappos footsteps. Yeah, like Taylor was saying, we're in that fashion show. I think we had over 15 brands participate in that fashion show. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, we even had Runway of Dreams originator Mindy Schreier was on there, and it was just awesome. And at the end, we had a round table, and we had like 4 models that got to talk with the brands, the businesses.
Was a good round table. I really liked that.
Yeah, the round table was awesome because they asked questions and they got feedback, and very receptive to feedback to making their products even better.
Yeah.
That's awesome to know that that's out there and that the world is changing that much more towards adaptability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as well, Amy, let's kind of go back into the fitness area where you're an adaptive trainer also with, is it pronounced one Kanama?
Kakana, actually. It's just like,
one
yeah,
Kanama.
if somebody was going to search it, it would just go on to Kakana. It's one Kakana on Instagram. That's their handle. Mm-hmm. But essentially, Kakana is a startup business. It's still pretty new. It's a website geared for people of all abilities for adaptive fitness. A place where it's completely inclusive, no judgment-free zone. And we offer live classes daily. And then also there's a complete on-demand library where if you can't make the live classes, you can search on demand and take them when you have availability, which is awesome. I teach with Kakana 2 times a week on Tuesdays at 9 and Wednesdays at 11.
You did one today, right?
Yep, I did one today, and I teach strength classes with them.
That's awesome. And how did that opportunity present itself to you?
You talked to the head or the what do you call
it? The originator of the website. Yeah, actually, interestingly enough, Matt Ney is the founder of Kakana. And he was talking with a few people that were involved in the beta testing of the program. And this is how great Instagram is. One of the beta testers, Lori, said, you know what, Matt, you've got to reach out with Fit with Amy B. Yeah. She would be awesome. And initially, they were thinking they were only going to hire disabled instructors to teach. But you know what? The cool thing about Kakana is that it's a mixture of both. And that's what it should be because it's inclusive. And when Matt talked with me, he was like, my goodness, Amy, I'd say you're a pretty big cheerleader for the disabled community. And I told him that I would love to incorporate Tyler into some of the workouts too when he's ready. And that's kind of how it got taken off.
Yes.
And that's great. And Tyler, as much as you may or may not realize it, people see you and they are very proud of you and what you've accomplished, especially through, some of the challenges that you've had. And you have spina bifida and hydrocephalus, which is also which I have as well. Can you maybe let the listeners know what some of the positives of having spina bifida and hydrocephalus is? Has there been any speaking engagement podcasts that you've done to kind of send that out to the world to let them know what spina bifida is about?
Yeah, that to teach people. Pretty much just giving people a good experience and what is spina bifida and what we have to go through, and just pretty much saying, oh, yeah, hey, do you like what is happening? You should understand what I'm going through or stuff.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, by sharing our journey and what you're going through, you're creating awareness and letting them know that you can lead a very active and great life with spina bifida. Important to note, because 15 is hard. Yes. This is a hard age when you're, it's not a secret when you're hormonal and you're learning more about yourself and accepting your disability. But with all that said, Tyler definitely has had the opportunity to be involved with so many different things. And while spina bifida is not without struggle, because it's important to be honest about that, there's certainly a struggle. But I tell you, with that struggle comes great clarity as to your purpose here in life and where you're going.
Absolutely. And Tyler, do you like any sports, or have you been playing any sports at all?
I did play tennis for a while, and then COVID happened, and just nothing has really like popped up.
We skied a little bit this winter.
Yeah, skiing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And was that that you did?
He skis with New England Disabled Sports, which is at Loon Mountain here in New Hampshire.
They were there as well.
Yep, we ski through Maine Adaptive too, up at Sunday River, which is a great program. And then tennis, Tyler's going to be getting back into that. We've had some challenges with some upper extremity weakness post spinal fusion, but with going to Project Walk and getting stronger.
Definitely noticing progress.
Yeah, he's definitely noticing progress. Like today, what did you do today with the tennis racket?
Oh yeah, I hit a ball for the first time with a tennis racket.
Yeah.
It hurt, but it felt good at the same time.
Yeah, it hurt. Like you said, it hurt, but it felt good at the same time. So
like, it was good pain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Really?
Well, no, I think sometimes people don't get that.
Weird.
I know, it does seem kind of weird.
Pain?
Yeah.
Like, ow, this hurts, but I love it.
But you're moving, right? And the more that you get moving, honestly, it's been the one thing that has changed the most, that has helped Tyler the most.
Yes.
And movement, like I was listening to you a little bit earlier on your Instagram feed, and knowing that movement is so important. And I know that anytime I'm doing a workout with Mark from Lebert Fitness or on my own, I totally get you, Tyler, on the good pain, because I get good pain. The older I get, the more good pain I seem to have every time I work out. So.
Yeah. I know. And I think maybe sometimes people don't understand that whole good pain, but the more you get moving, the better off you are, you know, because it takes away some of that stiffness and helps you with mobility and strength.
Makes you happier.
Yeah. And a more independent person as well. Yeah.
For sure. And kind of on the same lines, you're still talking about spina bifida, Amy. You are the chair for the Spina Bifida Association of Greater New England. Can you maybe tell our listeners what you do in that role?
Yes, I am chair of Spina Bifida of Greater New England, and we service Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. So we cover that entire span, and our goal is to enrich the lives of people living with spina bifida through providing resources, programming, bringing people together, and just celebrating together as well. I've been the chair now for the last 2 years and been on the board for 7 years. And I'm telling you, we have some of the best programming available out there for our young adults, for teens, younger children. We're just constantly looking to provide the very best programming we can for our community.
It's good organization.
Have you done any of those programs, Tyler?
Actually, yes. I've done
Best in Bling.
Yes, Best in Bling,
which is a teen empowerment program.
Yeah, with like girls and boys, and pretty much packed together.
What do you like the best about Best in Bling?
Basically, I just like it because it's a bunch of people that like know what I'm going through and just basically are like me, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
like they're actually like, they're like me, and they have the wheelchair
and they get it. Yeah,
they get it.
Yeah, it's like we bring the teens together for a weekend, and we put together awesome programming. And like Tyler said, it's a weekend where you can just be yourself. Yeah. You're totally accepted.
You have to just like sit there and like.
It's not awkward. Like people get you, and it's nice. It's nice to have that opportunity.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah, and that's what I found as well. be it through mental health or with my spina bifida, being able to speak to somebody that's going through similar experiences so you don't feel so alone is so important to have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I definitely felt alone.
With COVID.
Yeah, with
and
COVID and just pretty much like nothing happening. Just
lack of opportunity. It's been tough. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right, Tyler. It's been even more, just in general, it's harder for people with disabilities. And then when you add on a pandemic and lack of resources and lack of
and also we
services.
Get, like sick like quicker because it's like
yeah, you can. Yeah,
and
for sure.
So what do you do, Tyler, to have some fun or to keep yourself busy during the pandemic time?
I pretty much just watch TV on
He loves YouTube.
Pretty much. That's what I've been doing in the past month. So
Yeah, he loves YouTube. But who's your
good.
favorite? Who's your favorite YouTuber?
I don't really have a favorite. I just pretty much watch stuff.
And you love all the
I like tricking, like
flips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him why you like that.
Because my mom was a gymnast. Talk about it.
Yeah, which is he gravitates to very dynamic movement, and I think Tyler and I have that both in common because I was a competitive gymnast growing up. So it's just so interesting that that's what he loves. That's what he loves to watch. It's called tricking.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's really cool.
And why is it called tricking? Because of the dynamic movement,
I honestly don't know why it's called that, but it's pretty much just like breakdancing, martial arts, and flips into one thing.
Yeah, it's actually very amazing. These people are athletes. Yeah, it's really cool. But this summer, luckily with the warm weather coming out, we do have a boat. So we'll be going out on our boat, and we're hoping to teach Tyler how to drive our boat. Next, he's like, I'm not going to do that.
If I'm on the same lake, I got to make sure that I have a helmet on in case I see you there if you're driving.
We actually go out here on the seacoast in New Hampshire. So we're actually on the Piscataqua, that area. Yeah. So it's like.
So if you're listening to the podcast, if you're on the Piscataqua, make sure you're not there this summer. It's not when Tyler's driving.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, yeah. Well, and too, think about it, Tyler. You're getting close. Like over the next couple of years, you're probably start learning to drive too, because you're 15.
Yeah, and when are you able to get your license in the state, or at least where you are? Is it 16?
16.
You can get You can get your permit at 15 and then license at 16.
Where do you get that?
You have to sign up with a driving academy, and then you did whistle. I heard you.
Yeah, I whistled. That's amazing. So hopefully you can get there and start driving, and then you can come up here and visit Mark and I at some point.
Oh, we would love that.
Yes, that would be fun.
Family.
Yeah. Well, we're all Canadian,
Oh my God.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think everyone should be Canadian personally, but I might be a bit biased because I was born here. So.
My husband is from almost up on the Canadian border in Maine. So that.
Okay.
Like way up in Presque Isle, Maine. So both of his parents were Canadian. And then they moved over into Maine after they got married. So, yeah.
Okay. So you're honorary Canadian, basically.
Yep. We eat our
perfect.
ploys, buckwheat pancakes, and all that yummy
stuff. Maple syrup and all the good stuff.
Yep. Absolutely.
So with the fitness, Amy, that you do, kind of jumping back to the fitness area, what is the key to having a good fitness program, be it for adaptive athletes or the able-bodied athletes?
Well, I mean, I think the key is it needs to be sound. I think any type of fitness program needs to be structured, organized. Not without fun. It definitely has to be fun, but a good fitness program will incorporate strength training mixed with mobility, teaching people how to move their body well, Without hurting themselves, pain-free. And then hopefully they're that engaged that they'll continue to do the program on their own going forward. Because that's really it. Because by establishing a consistent routine, that develops a habit. And then the next thing you know, that person becomes invested in their wellness program.
Yeah, and that's just it, is because that's the hardest thing for me, is getting into the habit, making sure, because it's a habit, or you're going to keep doing it after 30 days, or I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's 30 days.
You're right. And honestly, oftentimes accountability plays a big role in it. So that's where, I come into play as the coach trainer, where I provide the accountability and the motivation initially. That's really where it's at. And you want to start slow. It's not something where oftentimes, at gyms, you'll see people at the beginning of the year, they'll be coming for like 2, even 3 weeks, but then they sort of burn out in a blaze of glory because they've come at it too quickly. And either they're too sore to come back, or they just have said, this isn't for me. So I always tell people short, actionable goals lead to long-term success. And, you didn't lose your wellness in a day, and you're not going to get it back in a day. It takes time and commitment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is so true. And for the listeners, where can they reach you, Amy, if they want to take part in any of your programs? And maybe even before I ask that, maybe Tyler, I'll ask you one last question, if that's okay.
That's fine. Hit me.
Okay. So my question, Tyler, is what advice would you give to someone who also has spina bifida and hydrocephalus?
That's a good question.
To get moving to the workout.
Pretty much hang in there, speak, talk to people, don't get nervous because you're in a wheelchair, get moving. What else?
That's all great advice, Tyler.
Not just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean life is always going to be so hard. Just keep fighting, or just make people understand you. I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, I think that was really well said, Tyler. I think, basically you're like, don't count yourself out because you use a wheelchair.
I don't want to say something and like get mad, because honestly, I feel like people like me are just outcasted and like not
accepted,
mentioned at all. Like, kids throwing around words all the time that are like super offensive. I'm like, geez.
Well, and that's where we come into play, because we're raising that awareness to.
I know that.
Yeah.
It annoys me so much that like we have to do that.
I know. It's tough, but that's why we're doing things. No, it's okay. And you're right. That's right. I mean, when you're 15, it's on the forefront, and like trying to help change the dialogue. How can we change the dialogue for people with disabilities to be accepted just like everybody else, creating a more inclusive world. I mean, it's a challenge, and it is tough and frustrating. So
and having to do that, Tyler, I completely understand where you're coming from. It was a few years ago when I was 15, saying that I even today at my young age of 47, I think I am actually not born in the 1800s. But yeah, it's hard to get the world to change, to see you as a person, or because I'm no better than you and you're no better than me, and that I think you gave some absolute great advice for people, not only with people with spina bifida, but just people with disabilities, period. And that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And always be yourself, Tyler, and never ever be afraid to say how you're feeling, because that's how the world's going to change. And it is exhausting when you have to advocate for yourself. But I know you, and I see you on the lives with your mom, and I see how much gusto and just passion you have, and you just keep that up.
Thank you.
That's
nice.
called Cam. That's actually called sass.
Oh my God.
Okay,
He's got a lot of sass, which will serve him well in life.
I definitely say what's on my mind.
Yeah, he
That's what I'm
does.
gonna say.
He says what's on his mind, so he's got that covered.
Nice.
Yes.
Good for you, Tyler.
Yeah.
So, Amy, if somebody wants to kind of take any of your classes or kind of, do your classes, how can they find you?
Yeah, they really easy. You know, the best place probably to find me right now is on Fit with Amy B on Instagram. I post daily workouts. I'm pretty accessible on there. I work with many different brands and businesses on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook as well, Fit for Life with Amy.
Barely.
I know I'm not on Facebook as much as Instagram. It's not the same. I'm on there for groups, but so either one. And then also on Instagram, if they prefer, they can email me too. My email is located on there. If they're interested in training, I have personal training options available for all abilities. I definitely specialize in rehabilitative fitness. Adaptive fitness is my specialty. But I also work with high school athletes. I work with, for instance, I have an 11-year-old who I'm training right now who had a broken ankle, who's coming back from that. So definitely have a well-versed set of skill sets. But if anybody's interested, they can sign up for a training session with me. And that's about it. And if they're interested in classes, they would want to go on to the handle 1Kakana on Instagram to check it out. Or they can just type in Kakana in Google and the website will come up to sign up for classes. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Amy and Tyler, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the Fitness for All podcast. And I certainly hope to have you on again. And I'm sure our listeners will be following your journey moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you very much,
good.
Cam, for having us.
you.
We really appreciate it.